Subscribe to my channel for more inspiring stories like this. I'm Sophia Hartfield, aged 32, and my existence transformed permanently while I was rummaging deep inside a trash bin at the rear of a seized estate in Redmond, Washington. A lady dressed in an elegant business outfit came up to me as I clutched a damaged chair piece, my fingers coated in dirt. "Pardon me, might you be Sophia Hartfield?" she inquired. I'd been without a home for 3 months, peddling salvaged furnishings to get by, and my former spouse's words still rang in my ears. "No one will desire a penniless vagrant like you." The lady grinned. "I'm Victoria Chun. I work as a lawyer. You've just come into $47 million. 3 months prior, I'd enjoyed a comfortable middle-class life. I owned a house in Seattle's outskirts, a partnership in marriage, and an unused architecture qualification stashed away. My ex-spouse Richard insisted that employment wasn't required for me. He was 32 at our first meeting, prosperous and charismatic. I was 21, in my last year of the architecture course at the University of Washington. My eco-friendly community hub concept had recently claimed top honors at the graduating showcase. Uncle Theodore, who had nurtured me following my parents' passing, had beamed with pride. "You'll revolutionize things," he declared. "In a year, you'll come aboard my company in New York. Together, we'll create landmarks." Richard caught that exchange. He presented himself, praised my creation, invited me out for a meal. In half a year, we were betrothed. In 8 months, wedded. Uncle Theodore declined to show up. "You're erring gravely," he conveyed over the call. "That fellow seeks a decoration, not an equal. You're opting to confine yourself." I'd been enraged, foolishly enamored at 22, convinced I understood more. "You're simply envious since I'm forging my route," I'd retorted. His reply lingered with me over time. "No, I'm devastated as you're discarding all your efforts. But you're grown. It's your existence to squander." We ceased communication. Not for holiday greetings I mailed. Not for his milestone 80th call. Not when I required him desperately. Richard's dominance began subtly. He proposed I skip job hunts initially. Enjoy adapting to wedded routine, he'd suggest. Then he deterred me from the licensing test for architects. No need for that pressure. When I attempted independent work from our place, crafting extensions for locals, Richard would book sudden getaways to Napa or Portland, disrupting my schedules. In time, I gave up. My sole defiance was pursuing learning via digital classes and design publications. During Richard's business trips, I compiled 17 journals of concepts I'd never construct, proposals I'd never present, aspirations confined to pages. Richard discovered them one day. "What a charming pastime," he'd remarked condescendingly, but prioritized maintaining the home. "The Johnsons are coming for Sunday meal." His relatives organized Thanksgiving annually at their Beacon Hill residence in Seattle. His mom invariably presented me as Richard's spouse, who studied architecture, her tone laced with feigned sympathy, as if I'd pursued mine rather than building science. Upon uncovering his romance with his 24-year-old assistant, all fell apart. The separation was vicious. Richard employed costly attorneys from a central firm. I relied on free legal help and optimism. Washington follows equal division laws, but our premarital agreement was unbreakable. He retained all pre-wedding assets, which included the essentials: the residence, vehicles, bank funds. I received a bag, and the realization that his counsel had bested mine repeatedly. Richard's farewell still burned. Best wishes locating anyone interested in flawed merchandise. Thus, I'd sustain myself by scavenging bins near seized homes, retrieving discarded items, refurbishing them in a cheap $80 monthly storage space, and listing them on Facebook Marketplace. I'd slept in my vehicle station behind a Safeway, bathing at an all-day fitness center. It lacked allure, but it belonged to me. Victoria pointed to a sleek black Mercedes. "Maybe we can discuss in a cozier spot." I glanced at my attire. Soiled pants and torn top. "I'm hardly fit for a Mercedes." She grinned. "As the only inheritor of a $50 million fortune, the vehicle can manage some dirt." $50 million. The figure seemed unreal. Victoria passed me documents during the drive. "Your uncle bequeathed his New York home, his Ferrari assortment, real estate in 3 states, and majority ownership of Hartfield architecture. The business values around $47 million. I gazed at images of the townhouse featured in Architectural Digest. 5 levels blending Victorian charm with contemporary flair in the West Village. This can't be right, I murmured. He cut me off a decade back. Victoria's look grew gentle. Mr. Hartfield kept you in his testament unchanged. You remained his only recipient. But there's a stipulation. My gut sank. What stipulation? She held my gaze. You need to assume the CEO role at Hartfield Architecture in 30 days and hold it for no less than a year. Should you decline or falter, it all transfers to the American Institute of Architects. I chuckled sourly. I've 0 days as a practicing architect. Finished school at 21, wed at 22. My spouse viewed my training as an adorable diversion. Victoria spoke softly. Mr. Hartfield wished you'd reclaim your path in design. This is his method to offer that opportunity. I examined the documents, images of the existence I'd forsaken for a guy who discarded me. I'll accept, I stated. When's departure? The Manhattan townhouse left me speechless. Margaret, Uncle Theodore's domestic aide, waited at the entrance. Now in her 60s, with gray hair and kindness. Miss Hartfield, I looked after you post your parents' loss. You were 15 and so grief-stricken. Welcome back, sweet child. I recalled her faintly. A compassionate lady ensuring I dined, who discovered me weeping in Theodore's office after Mom's service. Your uncle always anticipated your return, Margaret mentioned, guiding me upward. He transformed the top level into a workspace for you 8 years past. I halted. 8 years passed. Yet we weren't in touch. Margaret's grin held sorrow. Mr. Theodore never lost faith in your eventual return. He claimed you were too gifted to remain hidden eternally. He prepared this area for your rediscovery. The top level was an ideal creator's haven. Windows from ground to roof viewing the neighborhood. Large drawing surfaces. Advanced computing gear. Compartments stocked with fresh materials. On a wall, my university display drawing hung on a notice board. The eco-friendly hub that secured first prize. The one Uncle Theodore cherished. I brushed it lightly, eyes misty. The borders faded, but strokes crisp. He preserved it for 10 years. The initial executive session was as antagonistic as anticipated. 8 veteran associates encircled a glossy meeting desk, eyeing me like an uninvited guest. A 50-something man called Carmichael reclined. Respectfully, Miss Hartfield lacks any industry experience. This choice indicates Theodore's clouded judgment late on. I retrieved one of my 17 journals. In fact, Mr. Carmichael, my uncle, thought lucidly. He recognized this company requires novel perspectives, not outdated leaders gripping former successes, as the field advances without them. I pushed the journal over. Here's a green mixed-purpose complex I conceived 3 years back during my husband's Chicago event. Water features, vegetated tops, algorithmic exterior styling, natural sun efficiency. I've 16 additional like it. A decade of hidden creation since my ex viewed design as a sweet distraction from household duties. Carmichael scanned it, face guarded, but others inclined forward. A lady named Patricia interjected. Granting your concepts hold potential, managing a business demands commercial savvy, client ties, oversight skills. You miss hands-on background. I agreed. Spot on. Hence, I'll depend greatly on the current staff, especially Jacob Sterling. I turned to the quiet senior associate. I'm not claiming omniscience. I'm present to absorb, direct, and respect my uncle's heritage while introducing fresh concepts. If you can't collaborate with a leader aiming for progress over stagnant ease, feel free to depart. My initial big challenge arrived 2 weeks on. The Anderson venture was an innovative Seattle base for a tech magnate, eco-conscious, impactful, core to Hartfield's reputation. I'd collaborated 3 weeks with engineers on it. The structure would function organically, harvesting rain, adjusting illumination via intelligent panes, its plant-covered roof nurturing local flora for insects. At 9:45 presentation day, I reached to discover my secured office laptop gone. Carmichael emerged in the entry with it. Discovered this in the lounge. Must have been relocated. I activated it, heart sinking. The file was ruined. Slides disordered, pictures absent, visuals errored. 30 seconds to choose. Freak out, delay, concede loss, or emulate Theodore. Instead, I announced, shutting the device cheerfully. Let's approach this uniquely. Mr. Anderson, you desired a structure narrating a tale. Allow me to recount it. I approached the whiteboard and began drawing, my grip steady from a decade of covert honing. I outlined the form, described its cascade-inspired contour from the location, each facet purposeful. Conventional design sees structures as fixed items, I noted, adding elements with hues Jacob provided. But yours will thrive, vibrant. Summers, panes tint on their own, cutting cooling by 40%. Winters, they clear for optimal natural warmth. The algorithmic exterior derives from Seattle's precipitation stats, converting climate to aesthetics. After 45 minutes, the board displayed a full embodiment of my idea. Unpolished, sincere, evident zeal. Anderson rose, inspecting closely. This matches my vision precisely. A person grasping structures as vital entities. When to commence? Post their exit with instant agreement, Jacob beamed. Remarkable, yet the files were tampered intentionally. Sabotage, I affirmed. Aware, but irrelevant. Carmichael sought my downfall. Rather, I demonstrated no reliance on polished shows. The creation stands alone. That night, I summoned an urgent executive gathering with Victoria, advising legally. IT linked the alterations to Carmichael's machine. He stepped down next day. The firm acquired his 30% at equitable price. Yet the true revelation occurred when Margaret uncovered a bound diary amid Theodore's design volumes. Your uncle maintained a journal. Numerous notes concern you. The diary spanned 15 years, from my initial stay to shortly pre-death. An entry froze me. March 15th, decade prior. Sophia wed Richard Foster today. I won't go. Margaret calls me obstinate and harsh. Perhaps, but I can't witness my ward enter confinement aware. Now only wait and trust she returns. Another, 8 years back. Began 5th floor workspace today. Margaret deems it silly readying for one possibly never returning, but I must trust she will. The space is my belief gesture. The last 8 weeks pre-passing, declining quicker than foreseen. Ache notable but serene. Victoria knows to locate Sophia post me. Her choice follows. She'll embrace the task or carve her way. Either freeze her. My sole wish. The Hartfield Fellowship debuted 3 months post my leadership. We chose 12 from 300 applicants, granting $45,000 yearly plus living aid. Emma Rodriguez, 22, crafted refuges for the unhoused with gardens. Mikan didn't grasp my architecture pursuit over caregiving. She shared anxiously day one. I grinned. Bet they labeled it a pleasant diversion, not serious work. She confirmed. Since those blind to drive always belittle it, I replied. My ex devoted a decade deeming my qualification an adorable frivolity. Never permit diminishment for grand aspirations. The initiative was rigorous, but by November, Emma's refuge concept drew a Brooklyn charity's interest. They sought Hartfield's lead with Emma heading design supervised. Half a year on, Marcus Chun, head of a competing outfit, tendered surprisingly. $300 million for full Hartfield takeover. The executives assembled, Patricia outlining. With your 51% control, Sophia, it's your call. No delay from me. No. Theodore didn't entrust this to me for sale, to an entity opposing his values. Patricia beamed. Precisely our expectation. Theodore added a clause. Rejecting major buyouts unlocks a further fund he created. $30 million freely for grasping certain heritages aren't purchasable. She presented a soft case. Within, a band ring etched with design schematics. The message. Sophia, this was your great Aunt Eleanor's, an architect in the 1950s amid female discouragement. She endured unimaginable hurdles but held her sight. Construct courageously, exist daringly, and forbid any to shrink you. Proud of you. That night, Jacob located me in the workspace. He revealed a tiny case. Inside, a betrothal ring. Sophia Hartfield, this isn't due to deadlines or trials. It says each day beside you surpasses the last, and I seek endless days seeing you transform reality. Marry me? I eyed the ring, Jacob. The space Theodore prepared 8 years, hoping my return. Yes, I uttered amid tears. Definitely. Yes. The ceremony occurred 18 months post my bin exit. Patricia escorted me along the path in Theodore's upper garden. Jacob's pledge is straightforward. Sophia, you've shown me alliance celebrates mutual power, not rivalry. I vow to truly perceive you, motivate you, and trust your boundless potential. My pledge is tougher sand sobs. Jacob, 18 months back, I believe no one desired me. Shattered irreparably. You didn't merely disprove it. You helped me realize I wasn't shattered, merely awaiting one viewing my flaws as light entries. We applied the $30 million fund for a countrywide communal design effort. Book repositories, hubs, open areas crafted with luxury-level detail. Emma directed the Philadelphia Hub Library, her debut as chief designer. 5 years post Hartfield Command, I delivered the graduation speech at my design institution. Graduating, I held credentials, ambitions, and total future assurance. In a year, I'd forsaken it for a man requiring my diminishment. For a decade, I vanished into an alien existence. Yet I discovered this. You can't truly forfeit your core. You might displace it briefly, but your true essence persists, awaiting recall. That night, I revisited the property's upper area where this phase started. Jacob sketched in the workspace for a Detroit youth museum. Margaret prepared supper. I lingered in Theodore's garden, surveying the metropolis below, teeming with structures by dreamers with resolve. I considered the lady emerging from that bin, convinced of total loss. I yearned to inform her the vital truth. She possessed all required already. She merely needed moments and room to recollect. If this tale touched you, if you've since belittled, overlooked, or discarded, leave a remark with your resurgence tale and subscribe. Since change isn't singular, it's daily resolve to reconstruct sturdier. You're all you require. Just recollect.